All right, bibliophiles, let's break it down. Today's guest is Katie, aka Katie Reed Smut, a proud, loud, and unapologetic defender of the sacred reading rule. Read what makes you happy. She is on the front lines of the crusade against smut shaming, ready to remind the internet that pleasure reading is still reading and no one gets the moral high ground over your genre choices. This episode is actually a little extra spicy for me personally because Katie recommended The Everlasting and I actually read it. So today, Katie and I are going to talk about that book, and I'm actually going to let her know my thoughts about that book real time, as a thriller horror lover. But one thing I guarantee is that we are going to be laughing a majority of this pod. Hey, Katie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to like actually finally talk to you face to face. Like when you mentioned the everlasting, I was like, and this is how I'll get her to come on the pod. Because you are just such a champion for the romance and spicy genre, and I love it.
It is the hill that I will die on. And I think I've spent enough time in my life trying to hide it or pretending that I don't read it or that I read it a little bit, but like, oh,
Mhm.
but I read like whatever I don't know, something. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired. I'm too old to care. And I just don't. The older I get, the less I care. So, I will tell you anything and I will tell anyone about any of the smutty books that I have read. I don't care. I'm not ashamed and I'm not embarrassed about it. And I will read whatever. So the freakier, the better.
And I think too, like I think there's like a lot of people that are like, yeah, like I'll defend like a romance reader, but like sometimes it's good to see someone in that genre be like, no, like I'm a romance reader, but I will bite back. And like
Yeah.
this is why I believe it's good. So I feel
Yes.
like that when I saw your feed, that like came out. I'm like, this, she gets it. She's got the vibe. Like,
Yeah.
read what you like. And so that like stood
Yeah.
out to me immediately.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that's the vibe I give out because sometimes I feel chaotic, but I do feel very strongly about it. I think romance can give people um who want to explore, or maybe they don't want to, but it lets you explore your sexuality,
Hmm.
especially like I was raised very religious, so like you just didn't talk about it. And so
Hmm.
reading, I was just another step and another step, and I figured out myself that way.
Hmm.
And not even just my sexuality, but just me as a woman, you know? And so
Yes.
I think it gets trivialized and diminished a lot, and I don't agree with that at
Mhm.
all. I have big feelings about it, and I'm gonna be loud about it.
I always like, since my daughter's almost 3, she's a big Miss Rachel fan. And like, she has this song called like, It's Okay to Have Big Feelings.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, like we are allowed to have these feelings, but I feel like you also like portray them like in a way that's like digestible for people too. Because it's like, because if you see some people that are just angry on the internet, no one's
Yes.
going to pay attention to that. But like, you always have a certain style of being to the point. It's like in horror movies or horror books like that feminine rage calm, like it's like the
Yes.
water rippling in Jurassic Park on the
Yes.
glass, like
Yes.
there's something under the
Yes.
surface.
That is excellent. There is a well of rage in me that just for lots of things, but this is one of them, and I have spent a lot of time thinking these thoughts and how I feel about the genre and how I feel about how the world sees the genre. I
Hmm.
just never said it to
Yeah.
anyone. Um, like besides friends if we ever talk about it. But I don't know what maybe the planets were just aligned right where I was like, you know what? I think the internet needs to hear what I gotta say about it because there are some really great authors and there are some really great romance books, and I'm tired of it being shit on.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
So, were you always like a reader in your life? Was it always romance? Were you like leaning more fantasy and then led to romance? Like, how did your reading journey
So
begin?
I mean, I was a tomboy for a lot growing up until about, I mean, 2006. So I was like not high school quite yet. And I remember my mom got Harry Potter. No, it was a sixth one, I think. And she got it in the mail. And I remember her sitting on the couch and crying her eyes out. And I'm like, what the hell? And like she took me to all the movie premieres. So like I knew, but I was like, what could possibly be makes the ice queen of my mom cry, right? I was just like, this can't be real. So she's like, well, you can read it. And I was like, great, I'll read it. So I did. And I cried. And I was like, what is this magic? So then, I mean, after that, I just went a little ballistic. I
Yeah.
mean, and then you get into high school.
Hmm.
And so I kind of, whatever my mom was reading, I would read, right? I
Okay.
wasn't like branching out on my own. I wasn't really looking into anything else. And then I got into high school and I went to the not my school library, but our public library. And I got in some historical romance, and that was it. I mean, case closed. This is so embarrassing and so nerdy. My mom had to ground me from the library when I was in high school
Oh.
because I would read and not do my homework. I mean, I was reading like 9 books a week. Like I just wouldn't
Wow.
stop. And I couldn't make myself, I needed to consume all of it. And so when she grounded me and took my library card, my room was in the basement and my friends would get books for me at the library and sneak them to me, which I'm not sure that my mom knows about, but they would sneak them through my window and then I would hide them under my bed. And then when they had to go back, I'd bring them in my backpack to school and give them to my friends.
Oh my God. I love that though,
So,
because I feel like that consuming feeling of a book, like I relate to that immediately. Because like one time I was in middle school, but I think it was like one of the newer A Series of Unfortunate Events books came out. And I was
yes,
so fixated on it because it's like, okay, after your assignment, just
right.
free read. I read through a
Yeah,
spelling test.
yeah,
And so like it was like turn in your papers and I was like, what happened? And my mom was like, how do I even punish you for like
yes.
reading this hard? I'm
Mom
not the only
was,
one.
I know, I can't, even now, she's like, I didn't know what else to do. She's like, but it also felt so wrong to say, no, you're reading too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I was not, it was all consuming and I needed, like, I read a lot of Nora Roberts back in the day, and I had a notebook and I wrote down every single book that she's ever written. Because you could like in the front of the books they have like all of their previous,
Hmm.
and I would just cross it off with a highlighter every time I read one, and I'm pretty sure I've read them all, if not very, very close. And that was my goal, and I just kept going. Um, and then yeah, and then I got a Kindle for Christmas one year, and that was it, man. I had access to the internet and the world of books, and I just went nuts.
Yeah, I think digitized books just like
Yes,
open a door for
it did. And
everybody.
it just went. I mean, I was out of control. I still am out of control in the best way.
I've seen your TBR on your Kindle.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Anyway, I mean, there was not, and on Kindle, you could like search for like Kindle free books, and it would be like 100 books that they'd have for free. And I would just boop, 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 download them all. And this was before Stuff Your Kindle days. This was before
Kindle Unlimited wasn't even
It
a
was
thing back
before
then.
Kindle. No, it wasn't. It was before Kindle Unlimited. So, I mean, I I literally wouldn't even look at what a book. I wouldn't read the blurb. I'm going strictly off the cover, and I just kept going,
Hmm.
and I just didn't stop ever.
Ever.
I mean, that's really, and I feel like romance is a going from romance to like fantasy or romantasy is not a big jump.
No.
Uh, and like Lord of the Rings is my favorite movies. Like I'm not, so it was not a hard jump for me to be like, oh, elves. I'm like, yes, even better. And that's it. That's the way it goes. And I literally haven't stopped since.
Yeah, I do think that like it's always gonna have a palate cleanser every once in a while, but like I do think there's a beauty for people that like know their genre and like become
Yes.
proficient in what they love. Because like I feel like like if I ever need like an idea about romance, it's like the romance Rolodex. But like really, it's like, okay, what do they think about it? 'Cause
Right, right. And I do, I have very briefly read outside of my genre, not very often. My mom is a huge Stephen King fan, which I listened to your last podcast. Was that the last one? Anyway, I pre-Kindle, pre-Amazon, pre-digitized reading, I would read what my mom was reading. And so she's like, I think you should read Bag of Bones by Stephen King. She's like, they fall in love. And I was like, okay, cool, great. I'll give it a shot. I like his movies. So I was like,
oh
whatever.
yeah.
Like, I'll read it. Let me tell you, I don't know if you've read it. They do fall in love. They love each other. There is a romance, and then this girl gets shot in the head, and I'm like, never again.
Well, and it's kind of like, yeah, in The Shining, there's love, there's a
There's
relationship.
love.
Would I
I
call it a
just,
romance?
and I know she was just trying to get me to read it, which is great. Whatever. But I was like, Mom, this is not the vibe I want. However, Misery is one of my favorite
Mm,
books. It's also my favorite movie. I think I am um a very short traumatic brain injury from being Misery. You know what I mean? Like I'm like I can relate to that. If
yeah.
I was just a little more sociopathic, I think that would be it. Um but not really. I don't really venture out. I did read The Silent Patient because my mom made me. I say as a 33-year-old, but and I did like that. But I don't generally because
That's
I
not
have
your
too much.
thing.
It's not, and I have too many books to read. I can't be adding other genre because it will just. Could you imagine? Like, I can't. I need to get caught up on what I got before I could even contemplate adding anything else to my plate.
That's fair. A friend and I, we used to go back and forth. Like I read Red, White, and Royal Blue for her, but she was a big
Mm-hmm.
romance reader too. So I told her was a romance because Joe loves those women. He
I mean,
loves
he
them so
does.
mues.
He does.
And
That
technically,
is
because she's also like, my books have to have spice, and I'm like, there's spice.
spice. Does
So
anybody have a happily ever after? No, not really.
I didn't say
Which is
that.
right, which is really that's really all I care about. Not really. That's not true. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do like the spice.
Hmm.
And I'm in a book club. I'm in two book clubs. My local bookstore does them and they have separated them by genre.
Yeah.
So I'm in the romantasy one, obviously, but I'm also in the romance one,
Hmm.
obviously. And I mean, the big joke is like, ha ha ha, it's not spicy enough for Katie. And I'm like, okay, listen, nah, I'm not just like some slut for spice. I mean, I am, but like, there's just an emotional range that
Hmm.
you can get in a romance book that I like.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no spice until 85%, but the yearning or like the pining, give it to me all day long. Like, I don't need straight off the bat, although I do like that. I do enjoy it. Um,
It's a want, not a need.
it's a want, not a need. I know what I'm in the mood for, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like an emotional romance. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, this is straight. We are here for the spice.
Yeah, and I like the yearning too. I think that's like the thriller part of me. Like I want to see them work toward it. And like I remember one person being like, throw out the person like your main male character that you think is like the king of yearning. And I was like,
Yeah.
Gatsby. And no,
The
like everyone else was like talking about like,
yes.
but like everyone was like, I had so many likes on that comment alone. I was like, oh my God, because like no, it's not a romance book technically. And the
But
man
the
didn't even
boy, could not have yearned more.
Right. He didn't even get her at the end, and the man did everything.
He
Everything.
literally did everything. I mean, that is not the man. He did. Man, I forget about Gatsby sometimes.
Oh
That's
my
some
God.
good stuff.
I hate Daisy too. And I think that's too like that's kind of like the romance I like. I like the yearning. Like the spice is not a need for me, but like if he yearns, I love that.
Exactly. And it really comes down to the writing and how it's written. If you can write a good, and it's hard to do. It's not, I mean, it's all
Yeah,
internal, right? It's
it's
not in the
hard.
dialogue. Um, it's hard to write.
Yeah.
It's
Like
hard to write it well without it being like, this dude is not shutting up.
well, it's also like for me as like, I am a very emotionally constipated person and I find it very hard to talk about my feelings. Like
Right?
my hat's off to these romance writers that like can put feelings into words on a page
Yes.
'cause like I can't even talk about my
Nope.
own half the time.
Exactly. It's not easy. And so, I mean, going back to people crapping on romance books, but I'm like, this is hard. Like it is hard to describe something
Hmm.
without saying the sky is blue. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's tricky.
It is.
And I mean, ugh, I get so irritated with people. Yes, if the yearning and the tension, like if there's banter, like I don't need the spice, but I want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
It's got to be good. But if the yearning is there, I could chew on that all day. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It gives me life.
Well, so speaking of the yearning, I kid you
Emotionally,
not.
emotionally damaged.
So I was like, okay, I finished. Oh, and then so anyone listening, this is part of the podcast where Katie and I are going to go into the everlasting. I'm not putting a spoiler alert up. Like, just consider
No.
yourself warned from this
Yeah.
point on. But you should
Literally.
really, really
I think
fucking
I
read
have
this
it.
book.
I'm gonna hold it up. Here it is.
Katie,
Beautiful.
I read that book on Kindle, and as soon as I was done, I ordered my trophy copy, and it was like, oh, it'll be here January 25th. Today, look what
Yes.
shows up.
Yes.
It's like the
It was
podcast
fate.
gods from above was like, you need this to
Yes.
talk with
You
Katie.
need it. Yes.
Okay. So my notes are like
Give it to
like
me. We'll just go page by page. This
page by page.
podcast is gonna be 6 hours long, but it doesn't matter.
Well, like obviously, like literally I turned to page one and as a thriller and horror girly, I'm like, fuck me, there's a map. I hate a map. I'm not fans of a
Girl, I
map.
love a map. Do I ever look at the map? No. I like being like, I don't know where you people are going.
But I kind of loved it because it's like, oh, this is Dominion.
Yes.
Oh, that's easy. Like this is the
Yes.
Dominion. Like so
I do like to look at it because if they're like traveling, I'm like, well, how far are you really going? Like, should this have taken days? But otherwise, I don't ever look at the map
and
because I don't
so
care about directions.
no, I never look at like the more I look at the map, the more I'm likely to DNF. So like I was
Yeah,
like, okay, noted, keep going because I
keep
gotta read
going.
this for Katie.
Yeah, keep going.
The barkeep's baby daughter calling Mallory's dad a fucking coward was hysterical. Like 4 pages.
Literally, literally. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Great.
I was like, okay, that has been like the vibes are on. Like I
Yes.
get this.
Yes.
But also like so they got the quote where he's describing Una, and it's like, you had been poor, but no one had ever called you a poor thing. The way that rattled,
Put
oh, like,
it in the greatest writing of all time.
yeah, it's like
Like it did something to my brain.
the way this author played on so many themes, like, and they're gonna come up as I go through the list, but the way the author played with so many words and their meaning and the themes, like, it was just like this is art. Like,
Yes, and it wasn't too much, I don't think. Like I know
no,
people get on about like the purple prose, but I don't think this was that. I mean, this was the writing was immaculate.
it was. And then he got enlisted and then he
And
returned his
then
library books. That's a good
yeah,
man.
right? Does that not just make you want to like I want to give him a hug. I'm like, you returned your library book before
Yeah.
you went to war
Before you went to war.
that
Like,
you didn't even really want to go to.
and like in that moment, I was like, okay, this is someone I can trust. Like,
Yes.
I don't think he's ever gonna do anything to stab
No,
her in the back. Like, I
he
think
would
he's gonna be
never.
someone you can trust.
He would never.
Um, and then when he first sees her and he's like, you did not look like any kind of angel, yet I still knew you. It's like, okay, this is
I'm
giving me,
gonna cry just thinking about it.
I was like, this is some Sailor Moon shit where they're like constantly reborn, I think, because like they're the
And
familiarity with each other.
yes, and also it's just like the style of it being written as like he's writing a book to her
Hmm.
really just it knifed me and
And that
it was just
tripped
so
me.
good.
That like it took me like the second iteration to really understand what was going
Me
on with the
too.
book.
Yes.
When he says he knows everything that ever happened to her and she says who doesn't, it's like, girl, you're not even dead yet. You don't even know.
You don't even know.
Um,
But also, way to not be impressed. Like, congratulations. Everybody knows everything about me.
I think that too. I was like, I kind of noticed, I was like, there's some kind of like sadness in her.
Hmm.
There's something dark.
Yes, you kind of get the vibe that you're like, oh, she doesn't like that. Like, she's
Yeah.
not happy. She doesn't like it. Like, there's something incorrect about the legend,
Hmm.
which I like that feeling where it's not explicitly stated to you that maybe the legend is wrong. You just start thinking, like, this doesn't sound quite right.
Yeah, because she's unsettled and she's supposedly
Yes.
like the glorious,
Yeah. And you're like, what's
perfect.
happening here? Yeah.
Well, then what happened is she pinned him to the floor and held his wrist, and he was scared of getting hurt. I'm like, this man's a gentleman.
Listen, listen. I, there's nothing that I love more than a big, strong man, except for this. That, her being the big, strong one, I was like, that's right. You pinned that little boy down. I was literally kicking my feet.
I was too, because I was like, wait, she pinned his wrist, and like at first, like there's no mention of it, and I was just like, like, is that some subtle thing that only I'm gonna pick up? But then he mentions later, like he's trying to keep
He's
himself in
like,
control.
yeah!
It's like, oh my God.
He's got it bad. He's got it bad.
He had it bad, page one.
He had it bad before he even met her.
And then when she told the people that came to get her when she was drunk, I would deny God before I deny my queen. And then she told them to fuck themselves. It's like, listen, Una,
Una's a real one.
she's a real.
She's a real one. She's not messing around.
And like, I really related to that because like I'm very blunt and I'm
Yes.
not so agreeable sometimes. And it was
Mm-hmm.
very refreshing to see that in a female main character of a fantasy
Yes.
series that wasn't whiny and annoying. Because sometimes I feel like
Yes.
when other authors try to do this, they are annoying as hell. I'm looking at you,
Yes.
Violet Thorngale. Like, and so to see it so well done, I was like, okay,
Yes.
like I like Mallory, but like I'm Una or I'm ride or die Una.
Yep.
Like she's gotta
Ride or die.
yeah. Um the bathhouse?
I mean, tell me, I just like put it in the Louvre. Like the bathhouse. I like first of all, he's just a sweet little boy. And she's not. And she's like,
Come
there
get
ain't
it.
not yeah, like I've got to take a bath. Like I don't know what to tell you. I love him. I love her, and I love that scene.
Also, the quote, I could kill a legend. I didn't know if I could kill you. Killed me. Like,
Killed me. Success. Killed me dead.
and then when he talks about himself being a coward and she goes, who first called you that, I wonder? Is that not the modern equivalent of who hurt you? Like,
Yes. Yes, it is. It's like, who the fuck called you that? Because I will go wherever they are
mhm.
and we're gonna fight.
And then time travel is very fucking complicated indeed. And then I realized like we were getting to the second iteration, and I'm like, but what happened at the Bastion, and how come we didn't see the fucking dragon? Like, I was so pissed we did not see the
Yeah.
dragon. That was like my first big at this
Yeah.
book. Like, how dare you not show me that dragon? Um, I love how in the second iteration he disliked the author of the book,
I'm like,
who
oh,
was
oh, buddy.
himself.
Yeah. I was like, let's just look in a mirror here.
Um, and then when we got Una's point of view,
Listen. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing killed me more. I was like, that's it. 5 stars. This is it. Like, I just I don't even know how to explain it. The way that she is written, I want to say she's written as a man, but she's not. But it's not, I don't even know how to explain it. She's masculine without being a bitch,
Mhm.
even though she kind of sort of is, but she's not, I don't know how, there's just something there that fits right in my soul, you know?
Like she's masculine. Like she's physically large
Yes.
and
Yes.
scarred and muscular. But I think even with all of that, she carries this vulnerability of like her
Yes.
feelings about the queen and what she was actually doing in the forest when he found her, like being at
Yes.
that far rock bottom. I think that's what like really gives her that depth of like this is
Yes.
not just a because like when I first read it, I was like, is this just basically a gender bent like queen
Yeah, like
like King Arthur and his court like
yes, yes.
but it's so much more than just like gender bent because and this is something I was gonna get into later, but I gotta get into it now. Like, this book addresses like what it means to be masculine. What does it mean to
Yes.
be feminine? Because like I find Una very feminine,
Yes.
especially when they run away.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I understand she's muscular and takes charge sometimes and
But she's both.
yeah, she's both. Like it depends on the situation. And like when
Yes.
she struggles with motherhood,
Listen, I can't even I can't even. I we are jumping light years ahead in
yeah.
this book, but I cannot handle that whole garbage heap of what happened. It killed me. Like literally, I was sobbing. It was horrible.
Hmm.
But it was horrible because it was diabolical.
Hmm.
Okay, we're backing up a little bit. When the queen was revealed to be who she was, I mean,
I guess that. I was like, duh.
I did too, but not to the extent that it turned into because you find out who she is like 30%. I mean,
Yeah.
not very far in. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen the rest of the book? Because the big reveal's revealed. No, it's not. Nay, nay. The last 70% is your soul being sucked out of your body and stomped on.
I agree because like when the second iteration happened and it went to Una's POV, I was like, well, this has got to be it. Like, and but then it's like we're only 50% in. what is going on? And then I think for me, it was okay, they're experiencing running away, they're experiencing parenthood. And
Yes.
even with Mallory, like he's fragile, he is more charismatic and charming to be able to talk to
Yes.
people and stuff like that. But he is very much a father. Like what he did to save his children. Yeah.
Breaks my heart.
And then like when it was revealed like, well, you've gone through this before too. Like you thought they achieved a new high. And it's like, no,
Every
actually.
every time they thought that they had beat it, and it turns out that they didn't, I couldn't take it. And first of all, I went into this book blind, right? And I knew like just vaguely that there was like a time travel, time loop aspect. And so I was like, or like a Groundhog Day-esque, we're just gonna keep repeating. And I'm like,
Yes.
how are you gonna make this interesting if we're just gonna keep doing? But they don't. And it's not a big change from the first time to the second time to
Hmm.
like it's a slow, like, only certain things change, only certain feelings change a little bit
Hmm.
until it culminates until this big, like, yeah, no, we gotta do, like, we gotta stop this.
Hmm.
And I liked that because I wasn't bored. And yeah, the same thing is happening, but you're getting it from a different perspective. And again, those little things just keep changing as they're realizing, or as Mallory is realizing, that the world that he lives in is not true. And so he's changing these little tiny things. It was fantastic. I'm like, the kind of brain to think that up.
Yeah, because I really have to give it to the author. I hate slow burns typically, and I really hate repetitiveness if I feel like there's no payoff. But like even in the second iteration, like realizing from Una's POV, like, oh, she was coming on to him there. Oh,
Yeah.
like, or
Yeah.
the second iteration, the way conversations go differently.
Yes.
And so I think that was very, to me as a thriller reader, I was like, no, I won't, because like there's a difference between mystery and thriller. Mystery is we're
Yes.
figuring out things that have already happened, but thriller is like we need to understand what's happening in the now. Like there is
Yeah.
something to figure out. And that is this entire book from start to finish. Because what I also appreciate about this book that usually throws me off of fantasy is like the first four chapters are like, well, you need to understand this person's great, 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 great grandfather
Yes.
warred with this person. And like I get lost in the lore. But
Yes.
this is so digestible of like, no, 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 you're gonna figure it out with Mallory. Like hand in
Yes.
hand, let's go. Like
Yes. Yes. In less than 400 pages,
yes.
which can't beat that.
And it was so well finished. Like
Yes.
this is a one and done, and I could not ask for anything more. Like,
No, I find myself with standalone fantasy, especially, that I'm like, yeah, it was great, but now I want more. You know what I mean? Like, I need more. But this one, I'm like, I don't need more. This could not have been more perfect.
mhm,
I just, I just really liked also Mallory's like understanding of how his time is not what he thought it was, and that his dad being in the resistance was not a bad thing, and that his understanding with his dad, or how he felt about his dad, just like at different points of the book, made me cry.
I literally wrote down like in the iteration where like he did it and he's a
Yes.
celebrity,
Yes.
like they still make those comments about him on the side.
Yes.
And
And he's
like,
like, I still am not ever
yeah,
gonna fit in.
I wrote down, I was like, he's never good enough. He's never
No.
good enough for
His hair is
this.
too dark. Like, he's just never going to fit in, even if he does all the things that he's supposed to do. And I mean, dang. Dang.
Hmm.
And you're forced to do this thing. The least you could do is like not get shit talked by everybody in your town.
Right.
Man, his dad really got me though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the blood on the steps when he's talking about like looking at it, I was like,
Yeah, before he was even there, like he shows up and he just sees the blood and he knows.
yes. And I'm just like, oh, oh. That's all I can say. It's horrible, but it's so good.
Hmm.
It's just sometimes, especially with time travel, it can get real messy.
Hmm.
The further the book goes, you're just like,
Get on with
wait,
it.
or it's like we've now lost the plot.
Hmm.
Like time travel can do a lot, but it can't do everything. And
Hmm.
sometimes I feel like everything is just explained by, well, they just went back in time or they did this. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I want. You know what I mean? And I think this did it so perfectly with, they really didn't control too much of
Mm-mm.
where they ended up. They always had to start in the same spot.
Yes.
No matter where they went back from, they always ended up in the same spot. And they couldn't control too much beyond like a we're gonna go way back or we're gonna do a little bit. But it was just, and it wasn't overly explained to where I was confused.
Hmm.
Like I don't want to talk about quantum physics. I just think she does time travel well. It's not overly, we're not gonna explain it to death, but there's also not ambiguous rules that she just makes up to fit the plot.
I also think leaving it on vague on purpose gives her the flexibility to do what she needs to do, especially with Vivian.
Yes.
And once
Ugh,
again, it
Vivian.
makes it digestible. Like it doesn't
Yes.
overcomplicate things.
Yes.
But I also think too, like there are multiple examples of what it means to be a mother. And
Wow. Wow. First of all, you never, ever in a romantic, or at least not any that I have read, and I've read a lot, we don't ever see that motherhood aspect. If we do, it's at the end, like epilogues, right? Like,
mm,
or like a novella, like you're not, or you just see like the I'm pregnant and that's it. We're not getting anything else. And so to see that in this book, one was fantastic. I think it was written very beautifully. I think Una's feelings about being pregnant and being a mother, I think were surprising to her. They were surprising to me. Like and Owen, it was really refreshing to see, except I knew that my heart was going to get ripped out because we can't have nice things and there was too much book left for it to end well. And when they said they only had there been I think Owen said it like they had 9 good years.
mhm.
And then he's like, I know you don't want me to mention their names because
Yes.
it's too hard. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't stop.
Well, and I think too, because like this is super, super spoilery, but
It's
Vivian, that's
okay.
her name, right? Vivian?
Yes.
Vivian? Like when they that final time where they have the dragon heart and she had just buried that version of Una, like that's like the all-consuming mother, the motherhood in like a toxic way of like
Yes.
using your children as pawns to get what
Like,
you desire. And like
yes.
having Una like look into her eyes and realize like it's gone this insane.
Like, and you almost like I don't know about you, but I almost not almost. I did. You kind of just feel bad for Vivian. I mean, there's obviously something wrong with her. She's diabolical, but like for it to have started so far back, like you're just ugh. And it's like she doesn't not love Una. There's just a little too much, to be honest.
I think
And
she loves what Una can provide
I
her.
do think that too. I mean, I think that at the end, yes. I think in the beginning, I don't know, man. I did find myself feeling a little sad for her.
Oh, I definitely felt sad. I was like, I can't believe like she's been subject to this and felt so written off and not appreciated because she has a gift for strategy. Like she has a
Yes,
gift
you don't
for,
just get this far without being smart.
and she says that throughout the book, which I love because she's just like, men just like stumble upon this and like they get kingdoms and they get this lineage. But like as a woman, you have to be so fucking perfect. Because like
Mm-hmm.
look how many times she's had to do it and she still
Yes.
didn't achieve what she wanted until the very like 60,
Yes.
75% of the book. So like she speaks about that all the time about how like and I
And she's
think
not
that's
wrong.
that's the grudge she carries throughout the entire
Yes.
book of like I have to work this hard because no one appreciates what I do, especially
Like, and
man that
nobody
was
knows
supposed
because I can't tell anybody, and I've done all of these things. And she's like, and still, people
right.
aren't happy with me, and I still can't do anything right.
And
And I
that
still, yeah,
that's still also like a parallel to Mallory because like
yes,
he does all these things, but he still does the right thing. And I think that was like a
yes,
very epic parallel between those two of she's like, I do all these things, no one fucking cares. And it's just
yes,
like it fuels this anger in her. And like it does for Mallory too, but he's like, okay, how do I make it better?
exactly. Like, he draws the line. The first time he's like, I don't really feel great about this, but like, I'm gonna do it. And then the second time he's like, there's gonna be a better way to do this. And then he's like, oh, this bitch is crazy. We have to do something about it.
The third time I wrote down, like when he
Yeah.
grabs the book and does it, I put,
Yes. Which I
uh,
was like, go, Owen.
I was like, he punched Vivian in the face? Question mark, all capital letters.
Yes.
And then I put, go get your girl, Mallory.
Literally. I'm like, he is described and has said it himself that he is not a masculine man. He is, I mean, he says he's feminine, right?
Right.
And for him to do that when he is not brave, I mean, I think he learns to be in this
Hmm.
story, but he's not inherently brave. Like, he's not gonna I just, when he did that, I was like, this is it. Game
Well,
on. Owen is ready to play.
and I think it's like the more time they spend around each other because, like, Mallory does need help, like
Yes.
being courageous and
Hunting for food.
hunting for food and like knowing when enough's enough and like he's not going to
Yes.
be that agreeable like well I'll just do this to like make
Yeah,
everything go
somebody
away.
tell me what to do because I don't know.
Right. And then she at the same time he helps her with like navigating it's okay to want, it's okay to
Yes.
like not be the stereotypical mother. It's okay
Yes.
to no matter how many years, still itch for your sword and
Yeah.
defend your family. Like, I think they both helped bring those qualities out from each
Yes.
other.
They did. And the way that it was brought out in the book and described was just so beautiful. And it was not, you know, he wasn't described as feminine in a negative way, and she wasn't described as masculine in
No.
a negative way. Like, it was just a very, this is what they are, and I liked that that wasn't a plot point, I guess, that like she didn't know how to be feminine and that was bad. And well, I just first of all, it's dumb. And secondly, I'm just glad that we're not using that as a plot device to build a relationship between them, I guess.
Yeah, and I think too, like when he cuts her hair and sometimes as a joke they dress in, same gender clothing because they're on the run. Like I think that shows their adaptability to try and do the things.
Whatever
Yeah.
they have to do. I mean,
Like
it's
I
mind blowing.
I really loved Una before, but like when she became a mom, because like I have a really good friend and her mom is like a second mom to me.
Hmm.
And she's known me since freshman year of high school. So she's seen like the highs and the lows. And she's like,
Hmm.
when you met your spouse, like it softened you. It brought like this vulnerability out. And then
Hmm.
like she with my daughter, she's like, oh yeah, like this is a completely different Kendall because like,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I really related to the awkwardness of like, you
Like an
know,
infant. Like,
is
what are
this
you?
going?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have to defend this defenseless creature. Like I have to.
Yes.
And
And she felt that so strongly. She's like, I can't sit here and hold this baby. Because she's even like, it's been X amount of years I haven't trained. Like, she's not done anything. She's like, how am I going to protect them when I buried my sword. I mean, I think they even say they got like fat and comfortable. And she's like,
yeah,
I have to do something. What am I gonna do? And it's like that pressure that then disrupts her. I can't sit here and hold this baby because,
it's coming.
yeah, what am I gonna do? I
Right.
can't hold this baby and fight.
Yeah,
It was just, ugh. And it was put like, I think, the pressures that mom puts on themselves, just,
exactly.
you, they just, she just did it to the extreme. But I mean, that's my experience. I'm like, you have these little people. What are you gonna do? It's
Hmm.
your job.
Hmm.
And you can let that be crippling and you can let that affect your relationship with those kids, or you don't,
Right.
like it was just.
Yeah. And I think too, I think what really capped it off, like for me, because like it's one thing for me to rate a book 5 stars. It's another for me to buy a trophy copy. Like that does not happen all the time.
Hmm.
That ending where we find out the yew tree is Mallory, like,
Literally.
and it just constantly referred to, it's like you're working backwards throughout the book. Like honestly, like I thought about it, like I think I need to do another reread
I
because
have thought the same thing because now that I know, and now I need to go back and digest it again.
yeah, because like this was always the place they felt most comfortable and safe and protected them, and like now it all makes sense. And like when her fathers come and like they don't recognize her because they split from that time, but
Yeah.
she just cries and hugs them, and they live down a few
Yes.
trees over and they love children, like
Yes.
I felt like that was so healing for her because I think when she realized what was going on with the queen, like she felt like her only family was Mallory and her children, and I get
Yes.
how that can be super isolating. So the opportunity for her to have like parents that loved her again.
Even if they didn't remember her,
Hmm.
I just, oh, I I don't even know. Just the ending really truly blew my mind. I feel like if you read a lot and you read the same genre, you can kind of you kind of get used to the tells and the foreshadowing and
Yes.
you can eventually you kind of catch on and endings aren't generally super shocking. I was not like there was some iteration in my head of like, okay, I think these people end up together, but how we get there, I don't have a clue. This was fantastic. When they get to how I mean, they go to the beginning, okay, of time, of Dominion's not even Dominion.
Right.
And when they get there and this person walks up the hill to them and they realize they can't go back far enough, I mean, like,
And like especially because I am very good at guessing endings, like,
yes,
and I knew very early on, like I knew very early on who that queen was.
exactly.
Like,
And I think you were supposed to.
yeah, I don't think they made it very hard. I think what the author excelled at is, but look at this now.
Yes.
Like that isn't
Like
the
this is,
hook.
yeah, this isn't important. I mean, it
Right.
is important, but like this isn't it. I just like the defeat that they had of like, we can't go. There is not a place in time that we can go where this person will not be here. That's horrible.
And like I was rooting for a happy ending. I was like, I would love to see it.
It did not look like there was gonna
It
be
didn't. I was
like
preparing for the
really.
worst.
I literally, I it got me. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sobbing through that whole ending because it was just, it could not have been more perfect.
I agree.
And then to have to wait until this tree grew for her to wake up.
And her to protect it.
Yes! And little sweet Owen Mallory is building a house. And the cabin that they stayed in was the one that he built.
It's always that. And then like also there was like so many like just slight references. I'm trying to look in my notes where I don't know if you're a Hosier fan, but
Yep.
I was like, this is so Hosier coded. Like this entire
I'm not
book.
that much of a fan, so I don't know, but
Okay.
I did read a book that was basically a Hosier fanfic, so like I'm here for it.
Yeah, so like basically like especially like you might have wanted me, but not as much as you wanted my corpse. Um and then there was like a few other references, but like there is a Hosier song that's lesser known. It's a collaboration with I forget the girl, but like basically it talks about how, something super romantic is like being found buried together. And like in that last chapter, they're like, well, like when we decide to, like it'd be nice to just
Lay
lay
down.
lay
Yeah,
down and there was other things too, but I was just like, oh my God, this whole book like is just like if I could ask one question to Alex, it would be, what
literally.
Hosier album did you listen to while reading this
Literally, give
book?
me the playlist that you think is for this book because I and I also the headspace you have to be in to write this. And this is like when he puts his kids in the tree, like come
But then
on.
he taught them
Yes!
his language and he was like, if they hear it, they know to
Yes!
run.
He's
Like,
such a good dad. And that I did like that Vivian, I didn't like it, but when she's like, every time we do this, no matter what happens, you always have these shoe. And I'm like, they always have them. And
I
it
know,
killed me.
because I was like, wait, that means they've done this before because she
More
knows
times they
they've
were
always.
getting, like countless times. Like it is not just what the events that are in the book. They have done this again and again, and his dad has done it again. And like
Like,
she's tried.
and then
And
the
with his
coworker, because
and with his
because at first
yes,
she tried to get his competitor for the
yes,
professorship to do it,
the
and
little
it just
snobby
wasn't
man.
clicking.
Yes. I'm like, dang, this woman is resourceful. But that they just the putting the kids in the tree really, really, I was like, was that necessary? I That was too emotionally damaging for me to handle. I could cry just thinking about it.
I just, and I think this, I was expecting this to be like a story of young love, like Romeo and
Yes.
Juliet. But like this spans like individual, like what does it mean to be masculine? What does it mean to be feminine? What does it mean to be loyal? Like is blind
Mm-hmm.
loyalty something that's good? It talked about, okay, what does it mean to be in a relationship? Like what does it mean to trust someone? What does it mean
Mm-hmm.
to, be yourself with someone? And then it went even further of like, what does it mean to run a house? Like
Yes.
you saw the full progressional
It was a
arc, and
whole
I was like,
life.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. I was not
Mhm.
expecting that
And that's
whatsoever.
not typical, like I feel like in fantasy, romantasy. I'm not even sure that I would call this a romantasy, to be
No,
honest.
this is fantasy for
Yeah,
sure.
like it's a certain set of events that is happening in the book, and it's typically not a big time span. And so you're getting this couple and this romance plot that is very condensed. Like you're not, and it's a year, maybe 2 years. Like that is not a lot of time. So you don't
Hmm.
really see anything beyond the whatever war or, whatever event or action is happening in the series. But for this to one, not be a series, be less than 400 pages, and you're getting a whole life.
Well, and I think to me, it's like it's so complete, like
Yeah,
with nothing lacking. It is so
exactly.
entirely complete. Like, because when I sell this to like people that read more romance, because I was talking to Mandy about it, it's like you get your happily ever after, because that's her big thing. She
Yes.
needs a little
I
of the
also,
spice.
I will die on that hill also. Romance has happily ever afters.
Yeah, I think thrillers do too, and horror sometimes do too.
I'll take your word for it.
But I told her I was like happily ever after, romance angle, very like strong romance angle.
Yes, but it will
But
kill you.
it's gonna hurt, but you're gonna be happy about it.
Yes.
But even for like people I talk to that reads thrillers, like I think what most shocked me about this book, especially a recommendation coming from someone who primarily reads romance or
Mm-hmm.
fantasy, like this book is truly thrilling. Like you are desperately trying to figure out like what is going on here? Like who is the puppet master?
There's a diabolical, sinister plot. And I mean, and you could even get into, you know, it echoes current events today, and there's all
Yeah.
these things that I like that Vivian is evil. I mean, she's bad, and there's not, and she's been bad as
Hmm.
you get it from the jump. She's
There's something wrong. There's
nutso.
something off.
Yes, which I is understandable because she has a horrible backstory, but like she's bad. Like it like bad, bad, bad. We're talking about like eugenics and like I mean it's just insane. Like she's bad. And I think some people that I've seen review this that gets kind of lost that I'm like this is more than a romance.
Yeah.
It's more than I feel like it could be in any setting. It didn't have to be a knight and a queen. You know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
so I wouldn't call it romantasy as it's defined currently in
Yeah.
the book realm. I don't think it's that. It's so complex. I don't know what you call it.
I was
Fiction
even like
just
trying to
seems,
think of a word of like fantasy and thriller. Like,
yeah.
I feel like the romance,
And like a psychological almost, because you're not, as the reader, you're trying to figure out like you're like, something's not right here. Like this isn't right. Every time I talked about his skin or his hair being like too dark, I was like, back up.
hmm.
I'm like, there are more things afoot than what we're getting and that what he knows. And I like that as a reader because you just get enough where you're like, I don't think this is right.
Yeah, and that happens throughout the book because like to your point about his father, like in the beginning it's very easy to write him off. Like a little kid is calling
Yes.
him like a fucking bastard. Like, he's
Yes.
a drunkard.
Yeah.
But then with each iteration, when you're seeing how much he's willing to sacrifice for his cause, and then when you hear the actual story, it's like,
It's yeah. He carries that little baby.
like
Give the man a hug. I all of it, there is not an aspect of this book that is not thought out and written to completion. Like it's just I don't go back and think, well, I wish that character had a little bit more. Like
yeah,
I think it's all done. I think it's done well and it really puts you through the ringer, which is
yeah.
impressive for less than 400 pages.
Right. And especially because, like, I feel like with romantasy, kind of like how you were talking about, like, people immediately think, like, Fourth Wing, ACOTAR, like a whole lot of like those big main series.
Yes.
And that's great for getting people into fantasy.
Yeah,
And I think that serves a purpose, but like I definitely think calling this a romantasy is a disservice.
I agree.
I
And
actually
not
wish more romantasy was like this.
I agree. And I not to and not saying it's a disservice to this book to then not taking anything away from the romantasy
Mhm.
genre because I love them. But we'll call it the brain power, I guess, needed to process this book. Like this is not a light read, even though it's a shorter book.
Right. It's not a light read, but it's not high fantasy where like you just have to remember so much.
Exactly. Like it's a niche, it's a very strange, it doesn't really fit. It's not a cozy fantasy. There is
No.
nothing cozy about this. So I don't but it ticks all the boxes. It
Right.
really everything that I need in a book it has.
Yeah. And I think too, I think just like the characters and the story, like this book is pushing the boundaries of like what does it
Mhm.
mean to be in a certain genre? Because
I think
like,
it's yeah, it's labeled I think or put in the romantasy category because it's written by a woman, which irritates the piss out of me, but I don't think it's accurate. And I think if it was written by a man,
oh, this is speed and fantasy for
it
sure.
would be fantasy and it would be like, I don't even know, but it would not be in the,
Right.
and
Like,
it sounds like I'm crapping on romantasy, but I'm not. I just think, as the current definition of romantasy is now, this is not that. This is very different.
I agree because I feel like if you're putting this in romantasy, because like, oh, well, Mallory talks about how much he loves her. He's
Yes.
yearning for her. Okay, is Gatsby a romance book?
Yes. And you're just calling it
No.
romantasy because there's a queen and a knight
Right.
and like time travel, but it's not sci-fi either. Like it's all very genre
Hmm.
blending, I guess. It's just interesting. And I think I think even trying to pigeonhole it into something is a disservice to the book
Hmm.
because it clearly defies
Hmm.
you liked it. You read through. I'm like, it just I don't know. Magic.
I do. I think there is something extremely special about this book that I mean, there's aspects of it because like, if I have to go romantasy, granted, like I haven't read a lot and I haven't even read all of Sarah J.
Hmm.
SJM's, but like, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I hold that personally pretty high because I do like some of the character explorations, but
Yes.
um I still even think like the depth of like I feel like in less than 400 pages,
I know them.
I know them so tangibly. I
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
don't know about Re Rezand. I hate saying it out loud. Like to me it's
I say it
Ryzand.
Rysand, and I will never ever say it the other way because it's stupid.
I knew you were good people.
I don't
Um
care what she says, it's dumb.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know him that well, which makes
I
sense because like she's still whatever.
well, and
I
I feel
still
like
don't.
the depth, if we got the depth of this book in the current ACOTAR set that we have, there would be no question of is Elaine gonna pick Lucian or Azriel? Like we would know because we would know. You know what I mean?
And I think too, even with like the things that are established, like Feyre, like the whole premise of Court of Silver Flames. Have you read that one?
Yeah, I've read them all.
Where Feyre's just like, go fuck you, go to the House of Wind. I was like, this is so not her. Like, she literally
Yes.
left Tamlin because he put her in the
Yes.
closet thing and like
Hmm.
restrained her freedom. And here she is doing the same thing to her fucking sister. Like, that
Yeah.
actually really pissed me off, that book.
Yeah.
And it really, because I love Feyre, like she is one of my favorite female characters
Yeah.
I've ever read. And so when she did that in the Court of Silver Flames, I was like, I'm questioning if I know her at all, really, because she did that.
And arguably you don't.
Yeah,
Like
like
you know her enough that the decisions that she has made previously to fit all the plot points, you're like, yeah, she would have, XYZ. If they're like Rysand would never, ugh, I can't even say it. Would never. You're like, how do you know that? Or they're like, if
people forget about the Winter Court all the time, what he did to those kids.
literally, or when they're like, um, the the novella one, whatever the frick it's called.
Frost and Starlight.
Yes. And they're like, Reese acts like he doesn't act like himself and blah blah blah. I'm like, but you don't know. We get so little, which I think is because it's not done yet, but
Yeah.
I just think like books like this were in less than 400 pages I
Yes.
have gotten. I know I know
No.
them. We
Like,
are close personal friends. I know them. Then I'm like, man, that is a different level of writing. And I'm not saying one
yes.
is better than the other, but
Right.
it is just different. And so
Right.
to say currently as romanticy is defined these days, it is not that.
I agree. I agree. And then, like, no knock. Like, once again, there are things that I like, there are aspects that I like. And I think that is my problem with romanticy/fantasy sometimes because they're so large. Like, the
Yeah.
volumes are like thousands of pages. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much to pick from ultimately for me as a reader. Like, there's the things I like and the things I don't like. And I feel
Hmm.
like sometimes for some authors, and this is not just SJM, I'm talking about the ones that I've read, they do that to try and cast a wide net to get as many readers in. But I feel like there is a confidence in
Yes.
Alex's writing where it's like, no, like I know what story I'm gonna write, and either you're gonna like it or you're
Or you're
not
not.
going to. But these are my characters, and this is like her truth of her characters bleeds through these pages.
Yes, she's not vague or ambiguous. She's like, this is the decisions that they are making.
Right.
There's no room for interpretation.
It is what it is.
This is what they're doing. And this is how it's going to be. And this is, in the ending, this is what happens. And there's no room for debate. And I very much enjoy that.
Yeah.
Again, we know them. There is no argument and there is no question that Owen is going to wait for her to come back out of like there's no question. You're just like, yeah, that tracks. That's exactly what he's going to do. And he's going to go build that cabin and they're going to live together. Like, you just know. So I don't know. It's not romantasy. I feel like 15 years ago, it could be
It
considered
could have
that.
been.
But as it is today, no, it's not. I don't know what it is, but it's perfect, in my
No,
opinion.
like literally, I walked in and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good book because Katie recommended it. Like, it's gonna be a good book. Even
Yes.
past the map issue. Like, I was like, we're gonna be fine.
It's a nice map, though. But, like, I don't need to know where these people are. I don't care.
Right.
I don't know
Um,
directions.
but like, as I was like, oh my God, like this is a great story. And then I was like, I love this story. Like, I love the writing. I love the
Hmm.
like everything was just so well executed from first to last page. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, like I'm officially buying the book twice because I'm gonna buy the trophy copy. And it's
Yep.
because like
I,
I typically don't hang on to books very long. If I have a physical copy, I am going to put it on my shelf at work that people can borrow from. And then when it stays there too long, I take it to the library to donate. Like I do not have shelves and shelves of books, but this is going on the shelf because like I think it's important, especially for like as we were talking about like people that are discovering themselves through reading as they're growing up. Like
hmm.
I think this is an amazing story of like, you can be strong and
Yes.
physically capable and still vulnerable and
Yes.
unsure. And then you could
Hmm.
also be charismatic and agreeable, but also stand up for what's right.
Yes. And that being
Um,
strong does not equal confident.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just, I think it would be good in any season of life, but I think particularly in this season of life that I'm in, it
Mhm.
just hit
Oh yeah.
different.
Oh yeah. Because like the whole like, okay, they're having kids now. That was not on my bingo card. I did not anticipate that
Me
whatsoever.
either. Me either. And like when she's like the first time or whatever, like the first time she was late, that's not what she says, but
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
drinks the or whatever. This was a drink, wasn't it?
Mm.
Or a pill?
The tea,
The
yeah.
tea, yeah. And then first of all, then he goes to the future to get medicine, which I'm like, ugh, if he wanted to, he would, honestly. Like literally. And she does that twice, three times.
Yeah.
And I'm
She
like,
does it a
where?
few times.
Yeah. And I, first of all, loved it. I liked her perspective. I liked how she processed and thought
Yeah.
and how she talked to Owen about it. And Owen's like, it's not really my choice. But and then when she recognizes him and when the third or fourth time and she's like, "Oh, you want this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do want it." Like I was, oh, it's just beautiful.
The whole book.
The whole book. I mean,
Every
all of it. I just
every page.
that whole I mean, it wasn't very long. A few pages of
But that's the thing. This whole book is full of not very long, but very impactful
yeah,
scenes. So concise.
not I don't understand how people's brains can do that. But I haven't read anything else by her, but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little scared about it though because this was fantastic. I don't know how you do this again.
I know, I was looking at the back because, like, with the Kindle, like, I
Hmm.
only see the cover once, and she has another Starling House, Reese Witherspoon's book club, October
Yeah, that was a really
2023.
popular one. Haven't read it,
Mm.
but I think I'm gonna have to try it because I don't
Hmm.
know, but I'm kind of scared because this was so perfect that I don't want to be disappointed.
It is like,
Oh,
it is perfect.
it is. And it's
And
not, I think people will are surprised when I read books like this and that I like them. But I'm like, I am not, I know it's Katie to read smut, but I'm not, there are, I don't even know what I want to say about it. I'm just like that.
well,
It's the
there,
emotion. I think that's really, it's not the explicit writing of
Mhm.
spicy scenes. It is the emotion and it's all emotion. And
Mhm.
that's what I like.
And I think too, because people expect me as a horror writer to be like, well, this is just fantasy. It's probably
Yeah.
not bloody or gory enough for you, and there's probably not enough action. And it's like, but this is, there's something being defeated here. There's
Yes.
something the characters are striving for.
Yes.
But
I'm
um,
glad you liked it because arguably I do rate books on the vibe. Oh,
no, no, no. I think you're spot on this one. I think your
which
gut.
I'm glad when it works out because I do this thing where it's like as soon as I'm done reading it, I'm rating it.
Mhm.
Not necessarily writing a review, but I'm giving it the stars on, whatever app I'm using, which is too many. And I don't go back and like I don't think about it later and change it. I mean, that is how I felt when I finished.
Same.
And so sometimes that's not the same as everybody else's, but sometimes I do be right.
Oh yeah, you are 100% right.
Sometimes I do
100.
be right, and this one was one of them. And I'm like, oh, thank God somebody liked it because, whoo,
No, I'm proof. This podcast is proof.
proof. Let it be known. It's on the record.
Well, thank you so much, Katie, for introducing me to the everlasting, but also coming on the pod to talk about it. I know I kind of held my reactions back to kind of entice you to
The
join, but
anticipation was too much.
yeah, I will send over my notes finally instead of just teasing you with them.
Yes, I need every detail.
And then you'll realize at the point where shit was really hitting the fan, and I just stopped taking notes because I was so
Because you're
engrossed.
just like, I have to read. Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much, Katie. Have a good
Thank you
night.
for having me.
Bye.
Bye.